Yo, what's up everyone? It's Divine Sense Boxing coming back at you. So I finally finished all of the filming for the Keys to Victory Spence vs. Ugas. Just finished up here in front of the place that I'm staying. A little bit of a walkthrough of how I feel the movements look like for both fighters. And then of course I went to the boxing gym and shot some footage there with somebody there at the gym to help me out and offer a different perspective. So if you're new to the channel, man, I'm just throwing a disclaimer out there. I'm not a professional boxer. I'm not an expert. I just love the sport. I've done a little bit of boxing in my day, and I continue to talk about it and stay active in the sport, both as a commentator and also staying in shape and being as proactive as I can. So this is just a guy's opinion on YouTube, letting you guys know how I think the fight can go down. Keys to victory for Spence, keys to victory for Ugas. Great fight coming up. Can't wait. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, stay a part of the conversation. And of course, to my subscribers, I appreciate you. Hit that like button, let the people know we're in here talking boxing. So straight to the video. I appreciate you.
All right, let's go ahead and start with Errol Spence here. You know, high right shoulder, nice and relaxed, especially to start. He's going to find his range. He's going to find some angles. I see some nice step back counter left uppercuts if he has to. And, you know, Errol Spence's footwork isn't something that's phenomenal, right? It's nice and basic, but I mean that in a good way, right? It worked for him. He's got a solid base. He can load up with shots easier, and he's got long arms. He's got, you know, a very nice physique for the welterweight division to where, you know, he has figured out that he can stay in that nice solid base if he wants to. You know, Errol Spence has a very good right hand, very good jabs, very good check right hooks, or even lead right hooks. He's very good as a southpaw using that right hand, and I really wanted to display that here in this quick little breakdown. You know, and I think his game plan is more or less going to be, you know, be methodical, be strategic, and be calm, and then eventually I can get into that situation where I can start ripping big shots like you're kind of seeing here. You know, taking his time, being precise and accurate with these big power shots, and try to land a big one or hurt Ugas. So let's go ahead and look at Ugas here. Right, he's the more, I guess if you want to say, the tactician, right? He's got that Cuban style. He's going to utilize the jab a lot. He's going to use a lot of footwork. He's probably going to use a lot more pivots. He's always going to try to put himself in a position to either counterpunch or land a big looping right-handed like you just saw right there. Something that he used a lot against Manny Pacquiao, or stepping across right hand to the body. You know, Ugas is very good coming from that Cuban school of boxing. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this chess match to see who's going to overcome the foot positioning when it comes to a southpaw and orthodox fighter. But Ugas is very good going forward and going backwards. And so we're going to see how that all plays out. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick little look on how I think the basic movement will be for both fighters. All right, so this is a guy that I pulled off to the side to help me film this, so we have two people to look at. And we just walked through some possible scenarios. I'm portraying Ugas, and the guy here, he's portraying Spence. He's actually a natural southpaw, so I got lucky. He feels comfortable to show the southpaw position. So here we're looking at the battle of the jab, right? That's inevitable. You know, who's going to win the battle of the jab? Who's going to win the foot positioning? We're going to have the two lead hands clashing, the two lead feet clashing. And it's going to be a battle, especially early. Who's going to have that advantage? You know, looking for the availability to land that crucial jab, which will be crucial in this fight. So, you know, he's just showing ways that Errol Spence can get away from that jab, you know, push the lead hand out of the way, knock it down, you know, try to shoot a quick one in. And I believe Errol Spence has a slight reach advantage in this fight, so that will definitely be helpful to try and manipulate Ugas's jab. Now, I believe in this part of the video, I'm basically saying, you know, Ugas likes to jab to the body a lot. What can Errol Spence do if he's able to time the jabs to the body or even the right hands to the body? And, you know, he suggested that it could be just a simple step back, time it, come down with his own left hand right over the jab, you know, and Spence definitely has that ability. It could also possibly be a step back left uppercut if you wanted to, depending on how much Ugas overcommits. And this will be a part of that chess match, right? Who's going to time who? Who's actually going to be the real aggressor? That's what's going to be interesting here. I believe here I'm pointing out, well, what if Ugas, leans over to throw the jab? What will Spence do? And we both agreed that it's going to be pretty much the same, more or less. It's just a simple step back and then counter with Spence's left hand. Or rather, it's an uppercut or a straight left or whatever the case is. Just a nice step back and then try to sneak something in, especially if Errol Spence is sensing that Ugas is overcommitting. Now, I definitely wanted to point out that big looping right hand that Ugas throws, especially against a southpaw. And like I mentioned earlier, he did this a lot against Pacquiao, and Pacquiao had a lot of trouble getting out of the way of it. And so it's the basic, right, for Spence. I think he's a big, strong welterweight. He can absorb it and come up with a right lead uppercut or just catch it and come across with his own left hand. But this shot from Ugas will definitely be coming in this fight. So it's going to be interesting what Spence does. I think by watching some of his pad work with his trainer the other day, I feel like he's planning to stand tall, stand strong, catch shots, and just fire back hard. Fire back hard and fast, and make sure he has that accuracy. So it's going to be interesting to see what Errol's going to do with that big looping right hand. Now, here I believe we're walking through a situation of how will Errol Spence get on the inside, because that's where Errol Spence is very dangerous, right? He's pretty good in the middle of the ring, but where he's most dangerous is when he's close to you. He's got long arms, he's very strong, and he'll just tear you to pieces if you allow him or you stand in front of him too long. He's very good at these nice short body punches, hitting in that rib cage, trying to rip into the liver. And, so we're just pointing here, he can just come in forward with that shoulder. He might take a shot to get in there. And obviously for Ugas, it's all about the pivots, right? And if he feels that Spence is being a little bit overly aggressive, he just got to wheel out, got to pivot out of there quickly, because eventually Errol Spence, he's going to want to chop down that body. He's going to want to get in there and rip in there. So I think what we're showing here is Spence is a taller welterweight, long arms. He doesn't really need to bend over too much like a Mayweather style. He can actually stand up nice and tall in this little Philly shell if he does get Ugas on the ropes, and just be confident, relaxed, and powerful in this position. So we're going to see if that happens in this fight where, basically, will we see Ugas in that vulnerable position? We will see, right? So now it is another way where Spence can get out of that right hand. Like I said, I think it's going to be a very strong weapon for Ugas in this fight. And obviously it's that duck underneath, come across, and counter with that left hand. Now, obviously, that could happen, or Ugas, being the tactician that he is, can simply pivot out like I just showed right here, right? So, Ugas is a guy where he might make a mistake once, but he doesn't repeat very many mistakes. So if he throws a big right hand and Spence is able to duck underneath, that might only happen once or twice in this fight. Now, here's the basic movement. I wanted to show what Spence can do to try and keep Ugas from getting the advantage, right? It's keeping that right shoulder in front, trying to move to his right as much as he possibly can. And if Ugas forces him to Spence's left, Spence has got to, make sure that he doesn't overcommit by moving to his own left. And I wanted to point that out there too. Now, I believe we're going to look into some things that Ugas can do, right? If Spence gets a little bit over aggressive, that check left hook I think is going to be there come fight night. And that's what I wanted to display there is, if Spence is getting aggressive, Ugas is going to have that right hand to the body and then that big check left hook. Rather it's a knockout or, a loaded up punch or a simple check left hook to just, check him. That's why it's called a check left hook, right? You're checking your opponent, bam, right? And then get back into the range that you want to fight at. So that's one way that Ugas can counteract Spence's possible aggression. If Spence is really trying to walk him down and throw big, heavy shots, he obviously can clinch and wheel out. Or he can stand there for a little bit. I honestly don't think he wants to be in this position in front of Spence too long, to be quite honest with you. So I don't see Ugas doing it. At the very least, I see him jumping on that right shoulder, wheeling out, and then get back into that range. So those are my thoughts, guys, in a nutshell. I know it's a little bit condensed, but I didn't want to make this a long video. I appreciate everybody's time and patience. I hope you enjoy these type of videos. I enjoy filming them. I enjoy putting them out there for people to, you know, make conversations and write comments and all that stuff. So again, if you're new, make sure, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, stay a part of the conversation. For all my current subscribers, hit that like button, share it. Share the video, right? If you got Ugas fans out there, share it to your Spence friends. Those who are going for Spence, share it to your Ugas supporters that you know. And let's get that video out there. This is all for the love of boxing. I appreciate everyone. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. It's Divine Sense Boxing. Peace.